east. He wasn't. He was in the right direction. East. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. East. Oh, my watch is behind.
Hello, welcome to L5 Side Podcast. I'm Fergus Smith, and I'm joined here by Matthew Thompson.
Hola.
Ross Stewart.
Shalom.
Billy Kirkpatrick.
Howdy.
Jesus. And from the depths of hell, Craig Krieger.
Guten Tag.
We've all had a lovely weekend. We're coming from you here on Monday night. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so did everyone's mother get treated nicely yesterday?
Of course.
Only Craig's. No one else's.
That's-
Silence from everyone else.
Yes.
My mother had a great day, actually. Thank you. Karen was spoiled.
Glad.
Shout out to
Shout
Karen.
out to-
She always likes the post.
Shout out to Karen. Biggest fan.
Yep.
It was a weekend. We had 5 championship games and just the 2 premiership games. And we're gonna start off in the championship. We're gonna head off with Ayr United as they travel to Edinburgh to play Hearts, and subsequently lost 2-0. But on, if we're being generous, we'll let them off it because it was their new manager's first game in charge, and I'm sure Craig might agree.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Ayr, they set up well, because from now on we're going to have to try and set up and just try and hold teams out, because we don't have a goal scorer in the team. So we're going to have to set up and hold teams out and just try and hit them in the break, maybe bag a goal. And that is the way we're going to have to try and stay up this season. So that is...
They were well within the game as well, from the look of it, for well over an hour. And even after the goal, but as you say, there's that lack of quality up top that's obviously costing them, because you're not going to get that many chances against Hearts as well, so you need to make them count.
I think it's certainly a game that Ayr can sort of take positives from the performance. Although they did lose, I feel like it's definitely a step in the right direction. And like Craig said, I think the new manager is going to make this a difficult Ayr team to break down and score goals against.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I still think they'll stay up. I still think they're good enough to sort of hold their place.
The league is still completely wide open, to be fair, with only 9 points between 2nd and 9th. It's not...
Mm-hmm.
No one's... Well, obviously you've got your Hearts, Dunfermline, Wraith. They're probably safe. But even though it's a Dundee, they're only 6 points clear in 9th place. If they got a couple of bad games in a row, then you never know what happens.
Nah, that's true. I still, however, think it will be Alloa and Arbroath.
Yeah, me too.
That's my call.
We keep saying Alloa, but they keep picking up points places. So
Yeah, really good result for them at the weekend as well.
let's
Just proves.
let's focus on Hearts right now.
Yep.
Yeah, another win for Hearts, so that's puts them 15 points clear. They've got 7 games left to play. I think it's pretty certain that they're going to win the league.
I think
Although Dunfermline do have 2 games in
true.
hand.
I did say when we first started this, I thought Hearts would sort of just like they'd win, but it was whether it was going to be like a walkover or not, and they kind of made it a bit difficult for themselves at times, especially
Yeah, it's not been a walkover.
the few games before the last couple of games, they just all they could do is draw with teams, like 1-1 draws all the time. It's back to winning ways now, it seems. So
It'll be interesting to see how they do with the step up next year, because they tend to have a couple of good games and just kind of fall off, and then get a couple of draws and stuff. And with the step up in quality, it might be interesting.
I think it's one of those ones.
They've got quite an old team, so
I was going to say they've got
like stepping up with that older teams.
They've
tough.
got decent players. They've got some decent players, quite good players actually, but at their advanced stage, you're thinking like, how well can they actually consistently perform in the Premiership next season when they go up, because they will.
I mean, I think for me, I think we need 6 players next season minimum.
I'll just correct myself before I go on. When I say advanced stage, I mean like they're nearing 30s and up. So that's what I mean by advanced stage. I don't mean they're geriatric.
I do think Hearts will, look at it next season if Hearts do get promoted, which it does look likely. For the first time in maybe 10, 11 years, you probably have the established big 6 of the country. Within, your Dundee United, your Hearts, your Aberdeen, your Hibs, and then your Rangers and Celtic. That's your so-called big 6, inverted fingers. So Hearts, I think, you want to be in that top 6. I don't think they'll be wanted to, dodge around a relegation fight, but they will need to. They will need to recruit quite considerably, in my opinion, because the squad they've got at the moment is at best a team that will challenge for the top 6 positions. They won't break into the top 6. They'll be kind of somewhere between 9th and 7th.
I've never heard anyone use it.
I think if they
I've never heard anyone use the expression "inverted fingers" before.
Yeah, well, you see,
Not
this is the
inverted
quality
commas.
of punditry you get from me. Analytical.
It is the lowest of the low.
I disagree.
The lowest of the low, just like his camera.
I think it depends who they bring in, who they manage to keep as well. Because guys like Naismith are not getting any younger, and
He's tilted his camera up. That's not my
No, it's
low
high.
camera. I meant your low quality.
It's an HD camera.
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
I think Hearts' main problem, I can't see them doing anything in that league above with Robbie Nielsen as their manager.
It seems as if you have a personal vendetta
Said it
against
time
Mr.
Yeah.
and
Wilson.
again, I do not rate the man.
He's not a good manager.
He's an overrated man.
Oh, there you have.
He's an overrated man. I said he's not a good
Oh, dear.
manager. Craig's not commenting on his management skills, just his
said he's a
people
man.
skills.
Overrated manager.
Yes.
I mean, the only time Hearts have really had to play Premiership teams this season was against Hibs, who they bet, and Celtic, who obviously they probably should have done a bit
They'll be
better.
bad.
Obviously,
think
if they had penalty takers that could actually take penalties, it could have been interesting.
I think it's one of those ones where I wouldn't judge it off like those are like single-legged ties. They're one-off fixtures. Teams get themselves up to play games like that. And I mean, well, Hearts playing Hibs, that's their rivals. They'll get themselves up to play them. Whereas Hearts playing Alloa, I mean, if I was a Hearts player, I'd hardly be up for it in the morning. I wake up, I'm playing Alloa today. I'd hardly be like, yes. No disrespect to Alloa. I mean, they're a football team. They're a half decent football team, majority of the time. But I mean, it's just the quality of the team that you're playing sometimes determines how well you play.
Can I just quickly touch back on the relegation fight, so to speak?
Go on.
I know you guys keep saying it'll be safe. I don't see it. I think they'll finish 9th because Arbroath have the guy, the striker Hamilton, who is delivering goals. Allo seem to be achieving a good run of form with their attacking players, Ennis Cameron, and Ennis Murray as well. But with Ayr, I don't see an out-and-out goal scorer that will single-handedly turn the game round to get a goal. I just can't see that.
Well, you say that Arbroath have a goal scorer, Bill, but they are the joint lowest goal scorers
Yeah,
in
but
the
since
league so
Hamilton's,
far.
since Jack Hamilton's come in, though, he has considerably, improved that goal scoring record. I don't see an out and out goal scorer in
But
the
they
Ayr
went
team.
down in the league.
It's what
Arbroath went down in the table since they brought in
It's
Hamilton.
what-
Yeah, he's
one
one
I-
person. We're talking about goal
Hamilton
scoring. We're not
has
talking about the
scored
overall
4
team.
goals in 7 games, which isn't a bad return considering he's only 20.
That's cool, but my thing with Ayr is that I think now with a new manager, they'll be or with the specific manager they brought in as well, they'll be harder to break down and better defensively. So hopefully they can stop leaking as many goals, because I think that was an issue for a while. Was some of the goals that we were conceding were, well, they were not necessary goals to concede, to be honest.
I'm going to disagree with that and say their biggest problem is they don't score goals. They've got one of the better defensive records in the Championship this season. Their problem is that they don't score very many goals. They've only scored, 20 odd this season? Doesn't
Yeah, but
very
when
many
they're
at all.
games when they have scored goals, they can't seem to hold leads and keep out goals at the same time. It's
I mean, they've got the joint second best goals conceded record in the league, so I don't think that's the main problem, in my opinion.
It is joint second if you can't count.
Third.
Joint third.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, just
Thank
like
you.
it's all right. Just for the listeners out there that were screaming, at us.
I do think Hopkin, even though Ayers' defence has been decent, I think he'll come in and he'll shoot up that defence more. Where, like, when we played Queen of the South and we conceded 3 goals in like 10 minutes or whatever, and we played Arbroath and we conceded 2 goals in the space of 5
was
minutes.
it Morton as well?
We conceded 3 goals in the last 10 minutes against Morton. Like,
Yeah,
these were the problems.
That's what I mean by defensive frailties.
When we conceded 1, the heads dropped, and that's why we dropped so many points.
That's what I mean by, like, when I'm saying that their defence has been not great, because they have, when they've scored goals, their defence has then conceded 1 and then conceded 2, 3, like, quite quickly afterwards, and then you lose a game because of that. Whereas if you score a goal and then your defence can hold out, then you're closer at being able to get the 3 points. And then the longer you go on, the more the other team has to push up, and then you can grab another goal maybe when they're open. And I think Ayr might be going for stuff like that now with hopefully quick counterattacks.
Really, the way I'm looking at it is there's 3 teams sitting in 21 points right now. 1 team's got 7 games left and 2 teams got 8 games left. How many points will they be picking up in those last 7 or 8 games?
you're looking at
I can see Ayr outperforming Inverness and Arbroath in terms of points.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will also tell us.
Fingers crossed, though. I don't want them to go down.
Time will also tell us to mention the 2 goals that Hearts scored at the weekend, because we really haven't. They took them 72 minutes to break the deadlock, and they broke the deadlock through Armad Nandwile, who is a name that we've not had mentioned in a wee while. It was one of the key transfers that we picked out after the January window, and he scored a goal again and put Hearts on their way to win the game.
Yeah, it was an absolutely terrific goal. A great free kick into the box, and there he was, like a salmon, leaping in the air into the net to score the opening
Some
goal.
vertical on him.
I know. We considered other sports that he could have been very good in: volleyball, basketball. He could play numerous sports.
Any jumping sport, really.
Jumping sport.
Jump.
Some jump on him, and that makes it difficult to deal with when you're a defender. But it's a good ball in, but could it have been better defended? I'm not sure.
He asks the question, goes to answer it, just says he's not sure.
I'm not sure.
I think it's a difficult one to sort of make that sort of like to say like, oh, that could be better defended.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it is a difficult one. It was a good ball in. I would have liked to see it defended better. Obviously, but is a very clearly a tough man to defend against. And is it? Yeah, there's not. There wasn't too much it could have been done about it.
The second goal, Who scored the second goal?
Walker.
Jamie Walker.
Walker.
Was it? Oh, so it was. It was Jamie Walker. I now remember. There we go. Sealed the coffin. That's that. Another loss for
Sealed
Ayr.
the coffin. Matt is set on them Ayr going down here, isn't he?
Sealed the shut. No, the coffin on the game. And they're not saying they're going down. I didn't say they were going down.
Well, they very well could be.
Me and Jura said hello on it,
They
bro.
will
I
be
stand
going
by
down.
that.
No, they wouldn't be. I stand by. Me and Jura are standing by it. They're pish.
Above, we're saying Ross
Sorry, they're a bad run of form.
Thank you, Matt, for that clarification. I think Ross County will be going down. We've both said that from the beginning.
Well, you're both wrong, but we'll get not even.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Right.
No. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about Hearts and Ayr, and you did bring up Ross
Oh, we're
County.
talking about being right. at
No, we're
predictions.
not. No, we're not. We're talking about Hearts and Ayr.
Well, you're not talking much about Hearts and Ayr.
Wasn't me
You're
that
even
brought
talking
Ross
about it.
Jesus
Matt was talking
Christ.
about it.
But everyone
let
else
Matt
was talking
talk
about,
about it
and then you
Matt
bring up Ross County. They're not even in the same league.
So me and Matt were talking. You were
Silence, silence, child.
On that note,
Someone else
Oh
brought
yes,
Ross County,
exactly,
wasn't it?
exactly.
let's start
On
again.
that note, we will move. We will take a long journey down to Dumfries to talk about Queen of the South 2, Alloa 3.
Well, what a game!
Billy getting his
What
microphone
a
ready. I think
game
he's got
this
a lot
was.
to
This
say
had
here.
everything in it. You know, you just what
Oh no! Stop! 1 minute. This is a team that Matt just called Pish, Alloa, and they did win. They scored 3 goals.
No, I said Ross County were pish.
Who was talking about Ross
I said
County?
Ross County were pish.
No, when you were talking about Arbroath and Alloa, you
Us.
said because they're Pish.
He doesn't listen to you.
Right.
No, I said
Right,
no.
okay,
You said,
you know
"Oh,
what,
this is ridiculous."
I'm going to just deliver this
listeners
match
will know.
report, right? I'm delivering
The
this match
listeners
report
will
because
know.
you four
Yeah, I
are
want to
too
hear
busy
match report.
talking
now.
about Ross County, Alloa, bro. Who cares, right? This game. Queen of the South 2, Alloa 3. What a glorious sunny afternoon in the spring sunshine down in Dumfries. Both teams looking for a victory. Alloa getting the victory. Game started off frenetic fashion. 11 minutes in, goal scored by Mbude with a great finish into the left-hand corner. 11 minutes in,
I fucking hate this, Billy.
1-0. Well, at least this is on point and on task
No, I'm
to
loving it.
what's actually happened. Then equaliser for Alloa, scored by Murray. 20 minutes in, great cross, bang, goal, equaliser. 2-1. Then it came East. It wasn't. He was in the right direction. East. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. East. Oh, my watch is paying. Easto.
My watch is fine.
He's 17. But no, it wasn't the 17th. It was the 37th minute he scored. And it was a great finish.
Was he number
I don't know if
17?
it-
He's not number 17.
And then
No, he's not. Unfortunately,
Connolly, we had Lee Connolly getting the equaliser in 44 minutes before the big first talking point of the game. The red card. The red card issued to Obalai, and for me, it was a correct one. He's lunged in, and he's caught the player well above the ankle. That's endangering the player's safety, and off you pop. You're away for an early shower, but you can't get showered at the ground,
agreed.
so you're off for an early car ride home. After half-time, it was the next 25 minutes were unnoticeable, apart from a penalty kick that was awarded for handball against Gibson. He handled the ball in the area, penalty kick given, and Andy Graham, who's usually very reliable from penalty spots and penalty kicks, scoring them, didn't score. It was saved by Ferguson, and the game progressed into the 77th minute, and then Alloa, they got the cherry on the cake. The third goal, scored by Liam Buchanan, who's seemed to have been round for a bit ever, but he's still scoring goals, and he's doing a great job for Alloa, helping them try and stay in the division, and he scored to make it 3-2. And then the next talking point of the game, the second red card, 85 minutes in, a clash, the Alloa player trying to, I know Mr. Tour, I've seen it, try to stop the quick throw-in, and then what does the Queen of the South player do? Elbows him right in the head. Take that. I'm trying to take the throw-in here, pal. You know, it's a stupid red card. And then Mr. Johnson, the Queen of the South manager, he wasn't happy with the referee. He decided he's going to shout at him and then give him a little sarcastic clap to, really top off his afternoon. Mr. Johnson, you're up to the stand. You're getting a ban next week from the SFA. And that ended the game. Queen of the South 2, Alloa 3.
Thank you for that.
There we go.
fantastic match analysis. I think for the next podcast, I'd like everyone to make one of these for a specific match. I think that's definitely the way to go. Apart from the fact it was absolutely pish, but yeah.
The next podcast where we have two
A
games.
very important.
Sorry.
Well, I'll do it.
A very important 3 points for Alloa. Are they going down, Matt? Because you seem pretty certain that they are.
I do. I think they'll go down. Yeah, is that a controversial to say the team at the bottom of the league will go down?
No, I agree with you, Matt. I think they'll also be going down.
Yeah.
I'm basing that on the games I've seen them play against Ayr. I mean, when Ayr are scoring 4 against you, that's when you know you're bad.
That's true. They've picked up a few points in the last few games, a couple draws in there.
I think they'll be safe. I'm going to call it now. I think they'll be safe.
I think it's very bold to say they'll be safe.
They're
definitely more like
the Great Escape's on.
They're definitely far more likely to go down, considering where they're sitting and who's ahead of them. But yeah, it's anyone's game is that ninth place. I think.
If you want my two teams to finish 10th and 9th, they are Inverness and Ayr. That's my picks. I hate to say it, but that's who I think.
It's okay to be wrong.
It is. So it's good to be wrong.
I'm going for Dunfermline and Hearts to finish bottom 2.
I think that's
their
not
fans.
possible.
Is that when you're in Australia or something?
You know what? I think. Yeah, when the league's upside down.
Yeah,
That is Dapper. Unbelievable.
that is brilliant.
What I was going to ask, I don't know where Billy could help us out here. Will there be any action towards Queen of the South with 3 red cards? Technically, is anything coming?
They'll all be treated as individual bans for the 3 individual incidents. So, yeah.
So nothing for Queen of the South.
No. You'll just have 2 3-game bans, and then however many bans Mr. Johnston gets for his deplorable actions.
Yeah,
fair enough. I knew you sometimes got disciplinary action for when you had too many yellows in a game. I didn't know if the same occurred with reds. So,
well, they're going to ask them for a £20 fine
£20
and a bag of crisps.
SFA Christmas night out.
And since Billy gave us a detailed description, there's not really much to say about that game. So, elsewhere, the Championship, Inverness continued their run of form with a 0-0 draw at home to Wraith. That was a good one. Dundee, 2-0 winners over Arbroath. That could be a key one in the relegation fight. And Dunfermline, 1-0 winners over Morton, because Craig McGuffey couldn't score. And it's such a shame because they are a one-man team. Swiftly...
Harsh.
You're harsh. Swiftly into the Championship, where we had 2 games, and the first game we're going to...
That's the Championship.
Oh, bollocks!
You think you'd learn?
The Premiership, where we had 2 games, and the first game out of those 2 is Livingston 2, Hamilton 1. Matthew Thompson, tell us about this game.
Which one? Oh, the Livingston Hamilton game. Yep. What, do you want me to give a Billy style really of what happened?
No, just tell us about the game. Tell us what your thoughts of the game.
Good game. From what I've seen, Hamilton are trying, is my sort of takeaway from this game. Hamilton are trying to stay up. They're doing what they usually do. They're putting in some sort of performances towards the end of the season to try and stay up. Will it work? Yes. But I think Livingston just had a little bit too much for them in the first half. And the second half didn't look like it was very interesting. That's my sort of takeaway from the game.
What a goal Jet scored. Probably one of the best goals of the weekend, as Billy would say.
Sorry,
It was his goal of the weekend, would you say, Bill?
It was my goal of the week.
Thank you.
can people come away from calling him Jet?
Billy's goal of the week.
So that's what folk call him.
Yeah, I would like to be him to be known as J.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Thomas, because
His name is J. Emmanuel Thomas, not Jet.
But he wants to be known as Jet.
I don't care. Okay, he's not good enough to
That
be
is
known
Jet.
as Jet.
He is. He's a Jet.
It's
What a
not.
goal by Jet.
He's not.
Jet's
No,
some player.
stop it.
He's not on the fucking Gladiators.
It is on the score sheet as J. Emmanuel Thomas, not fucking Jet.
Well, it would be fucking Jet. It would just be Jet. What a walloper. Sub finish.
It is an absolute walloper for wanting to be called Jet.
What a goal by Jet.
That's something a
Honestly, that's
nine-year-old
probably one
playing
of the
out.
best finishes I've seen
That's
in
something a 9-year-old playing out in the street calls himself. Oh, I'm Jet. Jet scored the winner.
Look, it's much easier to say jet than it is to say 3 words. I agree. Jet.
No,
Jet
no
for the
bother
win.
playing.
What?
Good plane.
They tried to make it funny, but it didn't work because no one called themselves plain. Christ Almighty!
We've
Yes,
become the Four-Side Podcast.
Well, this is a shit show of a
Right,
podcast tonight.
right.
I'll tell you that
It
much.
became. I was going to say it became 2-0. It did not. It was 1 each after Smith scored for Hamilton, and you know,
Yeah, it was a good finish.
classic Hamilton, making everyone worry about the fact that they might get some points. Especially at this point in the season, we don't want that to happen. But Scott Pittman made sure that they did not get any points. Only 6 minutes later.
I mean, you're saying you don't want Hamilton to be picking up any points. I don't agree with that one. I want Hamilton to be picking up as many points as possible between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, but
But
you're
yeah,
upset. You're
they were
obsessed with
unlucky.
Kelly at the moment. So,
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed.
obsessed.
well, when I'm talking about Hamilton, you're like,
You're
oh,
obsessed with Hamilton.
what
Bing
happened to
bong.
get all the points? So Kelly go down.
I didn't mention Kelly. You brought them up.
We all know you were fucking talking about Kelly.
Simple air da.
But yeah, one player I'd like to say had a very good game was Nicky Devlin.
Oh, ex-air player, please
Agreed.
come to my house and give me a kiss. Oh.
He started off his game by getting booked in the 5th minute, which is how all good performances
That's all
start.
good performance.
Well, after that, he only improved, and that is why he won.
He didn't get any more yellow cards.
No more yellow. No more
Which is
yellow
good.
mean good. Yeah, I think it was
I'd agree.
a very, very what I would call typical Livingston performance. It was good. It was well played, and they picked up points that they'll greatly appreciate.
Well, got to say it's fair play to Livingston for getting a win. The first week that I've predicted them not to win.
Well, because you're fucking
In a
dumb.
while, so that is a. Well, they did go on a 14-15 game unbeaten streak, and then a 7-game no win streak.
Beaten
after
streak.
That, but, yeah, beaten streak. That's the word. But that secured their top 6 finish for the season, and now they'll be looking to secure that European
Yep.
place.
They're coming for you, Aberdeen. Watch out.
Well, even if they finish 5th, that is a European place. Remember,
Thanks, Rangers.
Right.
but
Yes.
they do have the chance to. They do have the chance to catch Aberdeen. 6 points.
6 points, and Aberdeen are on a poor run of form.
Well
And
said.
balance.
They are in a very poor run of form.
A very poor run of form.
While we're talking about Aberdeen, we'll move on to the next game, as that was between a team maybe kind of in a relegation fight and a team who are in that fight with Aberdeen to finish 3rd. Although, if I'm putting money on it, I'm saying that Hibs are going to finish 3rd at this point. So that was Ross County 1, Hibs
yeah.
2. Controversial, this game, a little bit.
I wouldn't really call it a fight between Aberdeen and Hibs, but yeah, we'll move on to the game.
A little bit controversial, yeah. I'm not gonna throw it out there that it was wholly controversial. A little bit controversial. Billy's shaking his head
Shaking
Oh,
my
in
head.
anger.
Billy's seething.
My head in
We'll let
anger.
him. I think we'll let him go with this one then.
Well, obviously, first half, quite a testy, tippy tappy affair.
Fuck me.
Well, sorry, my colleagues are pointing me to go in different directions. Very tippy tappy, cautious, cagey affair, and that really continued into the first half. Uneventful, because it was pretty boring. Second half, though, this is where it all kicked off.
Mhm.
Ross County took the lead in the 50th minute. Billy Mackay with really finishing off a really good move from Ross County, and you could probably argue that they were deserving of the lead at that point. It was a good ball in from Jordan White and Billy Mackay with a good finish past Marciano in the Hibs goal. 2 minutes.
And then struck controversy.
Yeah, well, this now. I look at this two ways. Either the referee has been cheated by the player. The player has cheated. I'm going to use this word cheat. The player has deliberately cheated, or the referee is so grossly incompetent that there is one or two possibilities. I do not know which is which. I cannot decide that. That is for.
I think for me, either way, I'm not telling the SFA to sack the referee, but the referee should lose his job because he's that incompetent.
I can say what I want now. I don't know how the hell a FIFA referee cannot understand that is not a penalty. Martin Boyle has
Who's the ref?
Martin Boyle has cheated. There is no doubt about it. He has cheated and deceived the official to win a penalty. Now, it's not even that good a dive. I mean, you got a bronze medal in the Olympics for it.
Was John beaten? Just to consider what was done.
Yeah. He tried to win an hour penalty later on in the game.
He did.
I don't know how he never
This one
gets sent off
to
for
no success.
diving.
Well, because the referee bought it.
If I was Ross County, John Hughes was rightly pissed in his interview. You could tell he was trying to be modest in how he was. But
Did you listen to the interview, Bill?
To be fair, last time you seen a dive like that, the guy was wearing a speedo.
What an interview! What a man!
it was, but it was.
What a fucking guy!
I'm sorry. If you let's say you're in a relegation, right? You're in a title fight, right? And that penalty is given against you, and that changes the course of the game, and you lose that game because of it. You'd be like, oh, it's all right. You'd be understandable. You'd be angry. You would. You'd be very upset. And
I think I'd be making a claim to do some nasty things to the referee, say some nasty words to him.
I just. So for me, it's one of two things. Either the referee's been so incompetent he's not picked up, or the player has player's cheated and he's convinced the referee. I hope it's the latter and not the former.
Do you think the referee,
I hope it's neither next time. I hope it never happens again.
but
Players shouldn't be cheating.
Out the two, I hope it's the fact that.
Do you think that the referee was in such a poor position to actually see it for such an experienced referee?
No, I thought he was in a good position. 10, 15 yards away from it. That's probably where most guys would want to be. Angle could marginally been better, but no, I wouldn't say he was in a poor position. He was in quite a decent position.
Bill, obviously you've had experience of refereeing. I don't know why Boyle doesn't get a second yellow for his dive about 80 something minutes.
Because we don't give yellow cards for simulation anymore. Apparently, we just don't do it. We just
ignore them.
We just ignore it.
Nah, I've actually noticed that quite a lot this season. It just doesn't happen anymore.
It just seems to have been obliterated from the laws of the game. That simulation is now just a play on, let's go on with it sort of thing. But this, I think that's down driven to two things. That's driven by television companies to an extent, and no matter how much you say TV companies don't have influence over football, they quite clearly do. And it's driven by referees who want to be pals with folk. You're not here to make pals; you're here to make decisions. And if it means
they just want drinking friends when lockdowns are
if
over.
if you've got to send somebody off, you've got to do it. That's why you need somebody that's not afraid to shy away from. The big decision.
Really, what referees should
Couldn't agree more.
Really, what referees should be doing if they want drinking friends is giving more yellows and handing out more red cards, so they get more fines, so they can have a better night out.
Well, yeah, but anyway, right. That's enough of the controversy. Kevin Nisbet came back on after his January interest and his subsequent temporary departure from the team. He was back in it and he got a goal. Goal.
Bang.
Bang, he's back. He's back. Is he back with a bang? We'll find out next week.
Indeed.
If he scores again, he will be. And he, again, finished off a really nice Hibs move on the 60th minute. Good ball in from Hanlon and Nisbet at the back post just to kind of plod it in. Not a world-class goal, but a good goal to get back on your feet, I guess. And that really kind of saw the game. Ross County made 4 subs within 5 minutes, and to try and really stretch the game, give fresh energy, because the pitch took an absolute pounding from the rain. Never seen a downpour like that in my life. So I tried to inject some life into it, but it just didn't seem to click for them, and Hibs held off for the victory. 2-1.
I felt Josh Doig had a very good game. I felt he was probably one of Hibs' standout players, if not the standout player for Hibs.
The problem for me is a left back. We don't need any more left backs.
Yeah, we do it under 21 level.
Yeah, but when we get to the senior level,
I think there's a good left back at under 21 level called Patrick Redding.
Yes, but Josh Doig is perhaps an also alternative option.
Right, cool. This isn't the Scotland under 21 football podcast.
I mean, it's relevant though.
Well, it could be.
I think Hibs. I don't want to say they deserved the win because there was a little bit of cheating involved to get the win, but it's 3 points that will help them in their
they won't be complaining.
Eventual securing of third place in the league. Because Aberdeen are on. Yep.
Not very good.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
I don't really have much more. I feel I could talk for hours and hours and hours about how diving in the game and whatnot, but it's just I don't there's no point because even when managers do it, nothing ever seems to happen about it. It just continually people dive and they get away with it. It just baffles me. What? Why did they stop giving yellow cards for dives? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me.
Yeah, there's been a few incidents with players diving and nothing's really came to it. I think was it a Yeti had quite a blatant dive and nothing really came of it and whatnot. There's got to be a sort of consistency level to it.
They are consistent.
He's Celtic daft, this boy, isn't he?
They're consistent, they just don't give any.
Celtic daft.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. They are consistent in the fact that they don't give any now. It's not consistency issue. It's the issue that just no one gets punished for it. It was bizarre.
But all it does is it encourages people lower down the game to think, oh well, they get away with it, so why not I try it?
If you've ever seen some younger players playing the game, it is ridiculous sometimes the way they go down. And you're thinking, I feel sorry for the refs at that level having to discipline them and deal with them. And Billy will be quite familiar with that, dealing with issues like that.
Not anymore, but yes,
his old days. Yeah,
the good old days. No, they're not the good old days.
It's an issue, but we'll move on and we will talk about the vast number of games that we've got coming up this week. Yes, the predictions from last week there. Matt again taking the game week win.
We don't have to discuss last week's predictions.
What?
We don't have to discuss last week's
No,
predictions.
we do have started. So
We have to. They happened.
Matt taking that one that week again with 10 points. Dura 1 behind him with 9. Myself on 8 and dragging their feet in the dirt. Craig with 4 and Billy with 2. So he's done really well there.
Well, I'd just like to say one thing regarding these predictions. They're a waste of time. Let's be honest.
Okay.
That's my
Thanks,
piece,
Dad.
yeah.
Moving on. Leaderboard. Matt is still miles ahead. Jur's made his way up
Yeah, I
into
was telling
second.
you guys I'd make my way up. Yeah, take that, everyone else.
He's made his
So
way.
how many ahead are we?
A lot.
Yeah, 24.
You are the Rangers of this.
Well, that's quite a
prediction league.
lot.
So
Yep.
Jur
No surrender.
has moved up into second by 1 ahead of Billy after Billy's tragic game week.
I'm Aberdeen. Hello.
I've dragged myself back off the bottom, and Craig is natural order has been resumed. He's back down there. He's back where he belongs.
It looks quite sad.
It does.
Exactly.
So going on to this week, we have 2 championship games and 1 Europa League game. You sound really upset about that.
Yeah.
And we have Dundee v Ayr, Craig.
Well, I'll predict postponed. No, I hope this game manages to get on eventually. It is a 5th time of trying to get it on. So I'm going to predict 2-0 to Ayr.
Billow.
Well,
Fuck.
that's why he's bottom of the leaderboard. For me, it will be 2-0 to Dundee.
Yogi.
I'm going to say 1-0 to Dundee.
Matt. Score draw.
I'm going to go, score draw, 1 each. That's what I was thinking.
I'm weighing on the side of Dundee here. The win, I think it could be a tight one. I'm gonna kick myself. Whatever I do, yeah, 1 each as well. I think that's the play. Wraith v Inverness, Craig.
Well, it's a replay of the weekend game, but I don't think the score will be the same. And I believe Wraith will come out 3-0 winners in this game.
Jeez. Billy.
Well, it was a 0-0 on Friday night, and it was quite an entertaining 0-0. I still think it'll be a draw. I'll go with my usual pick, 1-1.
Sure.
I too am going to follow Belo's prediction and say 1-1.
Oh, this is so you can stay in second. Just
Matt.
gonna copy me.
It's a safe bet. I'm gonna side with Craig. I think it'll be 2-1 Wraith.
I'm gonna go the opposite direction. I'm gonna go 1-0 Inverness. Gotta go bold for these.
Fair enough.
And finally, in the Europa League, it is Rangers Slavia Prague. Rangers bringing home I keep going to say a point, an away goal, a draw from the last game. What do you think is going to happen this one, Craig?
Well, Rangers had a free weekend. Slavia Prague did not. So Rangers will be the fresher going into the game, and I believe that will be shown by the scoreline of 2-0
Billy.
to Rangers.
Well, I'm sorry, Rangers fans, but on Thursday night, your dream in Europe, it dies. It dies in the form of Prague winning 2-1.
I hate to burst Billy's bubble in not Europe. Well, we're in Europe technically. Rangers will win 3-0. I'll try to think of a.
I thought you were frozen
He's
there.
trying to think of numbers.
I was trying to think of
1, 2, 3.
just
That's how it
counting up,
shows.
I think
Matt.
it's gonna be a long 120 minutes for Rangers that they will get through. I think it'll be 1 each in this game.
I think it could be a tight game again. Really. I really don't know. All bases have been covered with the Rangers win, the draw, and the Prague win. Billy is mince at picking teams, but I'm gonna nah. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go 1-0 Prague. Yep, there you go.
Bing bong.
Nah, see, I'm gonna change it now. I'm gonna go for
Like
I'm
Celtic
gonna go for 2 each. There you go.
So it's still going
That is us.
Bring
That is
on.
us for the week. A shambles of a podcast, but Jer's going to say goodbye now.
Thanks to everyone that has made it through. Wishing Walter Smith all the best in his recovery. Hope all is well his end. Thank you and God bless.
Bing bong. Matthew.
Yep, thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're all well, and see you next time.
Craig.
And I hope I remember this correctly that I did say hello in German, so auf Wiedersehen.
That was terrible. Billy.
Yes, thank you very much, folks, for listening. If you've made it this far, see you on whenever we're back on. Good night.
We'll be back with you hopefully on Thursday. We have been at what we would call ourselves the Five Side Podcast. Goodbye, good night, God bless. Jesus fucking Christ.